Antônio Frederico de Castro Alves was a Brazilian poet and playwright, famous for his abolitionist and republican poems. One of the most famous poets of the Condorism, he won the epithet of O Poeta dos Escravos. He is the patron of the 7th chair of the Brazilian Academy of Letters. Castro Alves was born in the town of Carolina, in the Brazilian state of Bahia, to Antônio José Alves, a Medician, and Clélia Brasilia da Silva Castro, one of the daughters of José Antônio da Silva Castro, a pro-eminent fighter in the 1821–23 siege of Salvador. In 1853, he was sent to study in the Colegios of Breu, run by Abelio Ce Acutesar Borges, the Baron of Macorbas. There, he would meet and befriend Rui Barbosa. In 1862, he moved to Recife in order to study at the Faculdade de Direito de Recife, but he was rejected twice. He only was able to join the college in 1864, the meeting Tobias Barreto and José Bonifacio the Younger. They would heavily influence Alves' writing style, and in turn, Alves also influenced them both. His father would die in 1866, and short after, he met Portuguese actress Eugenia Câmara, and would start dating her afterwards. In 1867, Alves returns to Bahia alongside Câmara, and he writes his drama Gonzaga, Aue Revolução de Minas, based on the life of famous Luso-Brazilian neoclassic poet Tomás Antônio Gonzaga and his participation in the failed 1789 Minas conspiracy. In the following year, he and Câmara would go to São Paulo, where Alves entered the Faculdade de Direito da Universidade de São Paulo and once more would meet Rui Barbosa. In there, he also befriended Pedro Luís Pereira de Souza, and wrote a poem named Deusa Incruenta, based on Souza's work, Terribilis D. His play Gonzaga would be performed on the end of 1868, being well received by critics and public alike. But Alves was sad because his romantic engagement with Eugenia Câmara had terminated. During a hunting trip in the same year, Alves received an accidental shotgun shot in his left foot, that had to be amputated due to the menace of gangrene. However, a prosthesis was made for him, and thus he was able to walk again. He would spend the year of 1870 in his home state of Bahia, trying to recover from the tuberculosis he got while in São Paulo. Also, in 1870, Alves published the poetry book Espumas Flutuantes, the only work he would publish during his lifetime. All his other works would receive a posthumous publication. Alves' attempts to mitigate the tuberculosis were in vain. He would die on the 6th of July 1871, in the city of Salvador, at 24 years old. Works: Espumas Flutuantes, Gonzaga, Aue Revolução de Minas, A Cachoeira de Paulo Afonso, Vozes d'Africa, O Navio Negreiro, Os Escravos. Alves also translated into Portuguese many poems by Victor Hugo and Lord Byron's Darkness, and lines inscribed upon a cup formed from a skull. They can be found on Espumas Flutuantes. Representations in popular culture. Alves was portrayed by Paulo Mauricio in the 1949 film Vendaval Maravilhoso, loosely based on Jorge Amado's 1941 book The ABC of Castro Alves, and by Bruno Garcia in Silvio Tendler's 1999 documentary Castro Alves, Retrato Falado de Poeta.